Hey guys, I'm back with a quick video. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, head on over to Instagram and hit that follow button at @TravelLavar. And while you're watching this video at some point, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Go ahead and click it now. You know you want to. Go ahead, right now. There you go. Alright, so let's get into it. So today I'm working on a balayage client. She actually came in a few weeks ago and we darkened her base, actually darkened her all over. She was previously blonde and she wanted to, of course, get some depth for the fall. Well, she came back in and decided she wanted to brighten up just a little bit. So what we did is add a little bit of dimension using a balayage technique. We're not touching up her roots today. We'll revisit that in a separate appointment, but just painting back into her existing color just to brighten things back up. The goal is not to be blonde, all right? So we're not going platinum blonde. We're just trying to create soft dimension to brighten the overall palette without losing that depth that she's gotten deposited. And it's going to give her the great dimension she needs for fall, warm her up. So I'm just going to go through this whole process and balayage her entire head. I did leave hair in between. I weaved, I sliced, I painted, all that good stuff. I want it to be a natural diffusion, and you'll see that once we get to the drying process. Let's talk a little bit about color on textured hair. There's so many myths around it, so many fears. Color is not the enemy, guys, okay? So don't be afraid. You need to see a licensed, professional, experienced colorist, especially when it comes to textured hair. Textured hair has different needs when it comes to color, and you have to respect that and treat it appropriately, all right? You can't just dive in. You don't experiment. Please don't experiment with color. Most of my color work is actually color correction, okay? I do a lot of color correction, and believe it or not, it's not always from at-home color. It's from stylists sometimes, and I'm not, bad mouthing the stylist or shaming anybody, but color is just a whole nother world. We learn it in school, but we learn the basics. You really need to get into some continued education to learn about products, what the products are doing, what's best to use, and then relearn texture hair all over again as it relates to color. It responds differently after it's colored. It responds differently to color. You can put the same, I can use a 5N on type 4 hair, or from Mazzani texture type 8, and then use that same 5N on texture type 1. It's going to look totally different, all right? The cuticle layer is different. How it reflects light is different. The background and underlying pigment is totally different. So you have to take all that into consideration. If you don't, things get a little iffy, okay? So she has been color treated for quite some time. Again, I know you see those roots. I'm not touching those up today. We're going to revisit that in a separate appointment, because for me, I'm a bit of a stickler in how I do my touch-ups, and that just wasn't enough root for me. She just got it done a few weeks ago, so we're gonna wait. All right. I did go in and blend some of her grays in her hairline though, but overall this came out really good. This is just my blow drying process. If you watch my previous video, you know that I believe in tension and heat must meet. So it's always gonna be a brush and a blow dry for me. No pick attachment. Sorry. No pick. I need that hair as smooth and straight as possible from the blow dryer, so by the time I hit it with my flat iron, I'm not doing any extra passes. Also, this is so important on color treated hair. It cannot take the same amount of heat that someone who's not color treated can. All right, you have to remember, color is going to affect the bonds of the hair shaft. It's going to affect that cortex and the cuticle layer. All right, so we're doing things to the hair to alter its natural state, so we have to be careful on how we treat it after it's done. Every color service is followed by a glaze and a deep conditioning treatment, whether that be under the steamer or whether that be a bonding system like Olaplex or my Mazzani bonding system. But it's going to receive some type of treatment, okay? It's very important after you do a chemical service that you put back what you took out, okay? That's how chemicals go south. Whether it's relaxer, color, doesn't matter. You have to put back what you took out. We can't just go straight from the bowl back to blow drying and styling like the hair is normal, okay? It's different. So remember that, all right? And at-home care is so important for color treated hair. You can't treat it the same as you would if you didn't have color, all right? You have to adjust with anything. I don't want to say you put the hair at a handicap, but you've adjusted its natural state. So you want to make sure that you're constantly putting moisture back, constantly imparting strength back into the hair, and watching how you manipulate it. Be very gentle in your manipulation. Don't over manipulate. Don't roughly handle the hair, even in your detangling, all right? Because just because it's color treated doesn't mean it has to be damaged. It doesn't mean it has to lose its curl pattern. Doesn't mean it has to be dry, okay? My color treated clients are not dry. The hair is not brittle. It's not breaking. They have long, flowing, healthy heads of hair, okay? The aftercare is so important. Plus, what's the point of getting all that color done and it all break off? That's not the goal, okay? The goal is to have hair, and I always say that to my guests, especially new clients, that are nervous or need that reassurance. I said, we only work together if you have hair. It's no benefit to me and definitely no benefit to you if your hair is gone, okay? So the goal is healthy hair. All right, and again, I mentioned before in my previous video, after every color service, we're always going to do a trim. This time she actually wanted to touch up her layers a little bit more, so I went in and cut some layers into her hair, reframed the face and everything like that. And you'll see me go through this process. I won't get in detail about how I cut. There are plenty of haircut videos out there. Maybe one day I'll do one, but that's not this video. All right, so just going through, finishing up, polishing up. After I get done cutting, I'll go through and style her hair, curl it, wave it. One thing I forgot to mention is when I flat iron after a color service, again, I'm only doing that one pass. I'm not trying to over smooth the hair, because guess what, I'm coming back over with a flat iron again to curl it. Okay, so remember, the dryer does most of the work, flat iron's going to polish, and then the flat iron's going to curl. So really be mindful and take extra care and pay attention to every step you do through that blowout service. Okay, it matters, guys. I've seen so much heat damage. I actually have another video coming up with a client that has some extensive heat damage, not from me. She hadn't seen me in quite some time, but she's been going somewhere else, and it's oh my god, we're getting her back on the right track. But it's so important that you just be mindful about the heat, guys. It's not just about curls, it's about overall hair integrity. Okay, if the hair is not it's not healthy, it's not going to grow, it's going to break, you're going to lose length, and it's just not going to style well either. That's the biggest thing. Healthy hair just styles better. Okay, look at it, it just looks good, guys. Look at the blend, it's smooth. Remember, I said we're not trying to be platinum blonde here, we're just trying to keep dimension. So she has a natural diffusion from dark to light as you get to the ends, and you'll see this more as I curl. You see that blonde kind of pop out towards the ends. And in my formulation, I was careful with my lightener not to go with high developers. Okay, that's another thing, and maybe I'll do that in a separate video too. You don't need a whole lot of power when it comes to texture hair. I know the myth is that we have a lot of hair and our hair looks highly textured and there's a lot going on, so I need to go in with the most strongest thing possible. That's a lie. You actually need to dumb it down. Okay, lower volume, lower power when it comes to the lightener. You don't need that much power to do what you need to do. Also, her hair was already lightened before this. We toned it down, so underneath that is still blonde hair. So as soon as that lightener hits it, it's going to work to remove that outer layer of color that's been deposited, but underneath that surface is still blonde hair. So I don't need a whole lot of power to achieve this result. All right, so I use 7 volume in lightener, 7 volume. Okay, and our goal was just to brighten it up overall. But I'm done talking. I've been talking a lot. I'm going to talk some more in my next videos, and I actually might even show my face. All right, so check it out. Comment, like it, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. You'll see my handles come up at the end of the video for my social media. Make sure you're following me. And that's all I got. Continue to enjoy the rest of the video. See you guys later.